The street was dead silent. A car engine revved in the dark. "Kill the lights," he whispered. They stepped closer. The driver twitched. Door opened, blood, sirens wailed. Somewhere nearby, tires screeched. The killer was still out there.
Episode 911.
There were shots fired over on the Blakey, behind Riverside, behind the gas station. I'm on my bike.
How many?
Huh?
How many?
I don't know, three of them. Blakey and Riverside. The street behind the pantry. Police hired somebody might be here. I was just passing by going to the gas station.
Okay, did you
and
happen
some
to...
guy told me, some guy told me to turn around and go, hurry up, come and go. And he told me get away, let's get away from over there.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I heard pow, pow, pow.
The call came out that shots had been fired. I was a new boot. I was definitely a rookie, and for a rookie, you're kind of walking into the unknown. My body camera was already rolling.
Another intel, right? Smaller and about two subjects in the gas station pumped gas. They also just kind of shot south of the gas station.
My adrenaline was definitely rushing. I was driving that night. We call him a field training officer. He was sitting on the passenger side and basically was like, "All right, it's your show. Let's go." We turned down the residential street and we get out of the car. It was dead silent. I could hear the car that was revving. It was pretty eerie.
Turn the car off?
Yeah. The car was still on. I could see a black male sitting in the driver's seat, and I could see him convulsing. And every time the male was convulsing, the engine would rev.
Have AMR step it up.
Climbed in the passenger side seat. He looked anywhere from 17 to 24, maybe. I mean, he was young.
Looks like he's been shot in the head. Yeah.
I could see that he had a bullet hole to his head. There's brain fragmentation coming out, blood coming out. And at that time, I was basically face to face with him and kind of saw his last breath. And I kind of stepped back from there and just kind of was like, oh shit. A field training officer, I tried to feel for a pulse and there wasn't one. This was clearly a murder.
Andy. Hey, it's Hoover. I don't know if you're the guy in charge since everybody's out of town and Brad's on the funeral leave, but we had a murder. 1/3, just wanted to pass on. Yeah, we just got the call. The guy's dead in the car. He got shot. We're still actively working it. Black male in the car and Kentucky plates down on Prissy and Becky.
We're 10, 12, 15 minutes from Kentucky. It wasn't odd that a Kentucky car was parked here. We run a plate in our car. We were able to pull up his driver's license, and on his driver's license, it had his face. So, identified the driver of the vehicle as 25-year-old Delvin Mitchell.
Dalvin was my best friend. Technically, his name is Delvin, but he didn't really like it that much, so he would tell us to call him Dalvin. People loved him. As soon as you walk in the room, like you're just gonna get that joy, that like it's like this wind that comes over you.
Dalvin did a lot of music. He never was really a rapper, but he was doing like the production of it. He used to hang out at the house with my son. Like my house used to be like a place where all the boys would come to chill out. So one day Blake had come and sat down in my room and asked me if Dalvin could stay with us because he didn't have nowhere to live. First I was kind of hesitant because I always had people there. And then I told her, yeah, go ahead, we can. And then from there, me and Dalvin, got us a relationship as mom and son, and he used to call me mom.
He ended up becoming like my actual brother. He went from a friend to a best friend, close friend to a brother. That's a whole different relationship dynamic.
That night he got killed. And I was asleep. That woke me up. Blake called me and told me that Dalvin was dead. I think I just shut down altogether. I just got numb.
I got a text message. It was like, there's like a Facebook status talking about there was gunshots last night. Y'all be careful, y'all. So like, I don't know, my heart's like beating real fast, and I like fell to my knees because I had a feeling that it was him. And then by the time I got to the crib, they told me it was Dalvin. I don't really remember too much of the conversation because I was like, all I seen was red. Like who would hurt my brother? Like, I don't know, I lost it. For a long period of time, for real, I was, you know what I mean, I was lost.
On scene, it was, you know, kind of that tunneled vision to what we had in the car. We crime scene off the entire area. That's when the brigade of detectives, detective sergeants, the crime scene guys started to pile in.
When I arrived on scene and kind of processed that scene myself, just looking at things, seeing where, you know, there's a round laying there on the street. There's one in the floorboard. The victim, Delvin's been shot in the head. You're kind of wondering, is this a setup? We don't know. There's all different kinds of scenarios as a detective that you run through your head to try to get it figured out as soon as you possibly can.
The driver's side window also had what was consistent to be a projectile round through that. The door was open, so it could lead to a couple different things, but it looked like who'd shot him was in the vehicle or in close proximity to the vehicle when the shots were fired.
The violence behind it was intentional. And you could tell that just from the amount of rounds that were sent through the car. It wasn't just to scare him, it was to kill him.
There's 2 shell casings that we've seen, one in the car and one right outside the passenger side.
Side.
Yeah.
Went through the other side. There's shell casings.
Because the out looks that way.
Yeah.
Do
your boys start a crime scene log?
Okay.
We don't have all the pieces to the puzzle yet. It was one of those eye-opening experiences of, hey, you know, we've got somebody we know that shot, but where's the shooter? As you're standing there, you see this, you're asking yourself why, and you know it's just a mystery.
The silver Cadillac, Union Williams.
Black Tahoe on rim.
Southbound on Sweet from Joy.
You can't go southbound on Sweetser, right?
Or here in my ear, the dispatch had notified us that a car was fleeing the area and other units were trying to get behind it. And as it was fleeing, they could see that the car had false plates on it, possibly involved with the scene. So hearing that in my ear, I'm thinking, hopefully we can get this car stopped, figure out who's in the car. Maybe they're involved with what happened here.
Officers are initiating their lights and sirens, trying to get this guy to stop. Won't stop. So now in the back of everybody's mind, they're thinking, maybe he's our suspect. You know, he's definitely not going to stop.
It's just a straight adrenaline dump, and it's just a rush. Like, we have to get this car stopped at all costs. And knowing that there's a possible gunman in this car, the level of threat just goes through the roof. There was a vehicle pursuit. We were trying to get the vehicle stopped, and it wasn't stopping. So we thought possibly could be involved because it's in the area, it's fleeing the area. It could be a piece of the puzzle.
His sergeant or lieutenant at the time radioed and said other counties and state police are starting to pick up on this pursuit, so now they're pursuing the guy. But they ended up stopping him and placed him in handcuffs.
Person's around me. He had an Indiana ID card. I don't know what's going on.
You got Jack Lowe's phone number? Maybe. We're gonna want to take this guy back to Vandenberg. So,
We're gonna tell her or maybe?
We're thinking this might be our guy. He had the false plates on his vehicle, and they look suspicious.
I was planning. I mean, we got felony charges in our county, so we don't. There's no extradition there that we should be able to bring him back to Vandenberg, and you guys can try to talk to him. Just him leaving the area for this awful coincidental, and talk with Peter and the prosecutor. I mean, if they just want us to impound this and tow it back to Tri-State to Evansville, and we'll get a search warrant for it. Okay, thanks.
They identified the guy as a subject named Simone. And Simone was placed in one of our patrol vehicles, and that patrol officer brought him to headquarters for an interview.
Hey, what's going on, man? I'm Detective Lowe. This is my sergeant, Detective Hunt.
What's up, man?
How you doing?
I'm good.
I need to ask you some questions, okay?
So
I'm gonna read you Miranda up. Probably heard that before, right? I still have to read it to you, all right?
You can tell a lot by, when interviewing subjects, by their disposition, how they act, how they talk. Are they looking you in the eye? Are they looking away? Simone had some of those, but you're thinking, well, this guy was right there, and this guy fled the scene from there.
All right. Do you know why you're in here right now? Run me down what happened tonight.
I don't even know, man. All I know is the police jumped at me, and I was just thinking about getting to my mama, man. Cause you know what I'm saying? I'm on probation and stuff, and then like the PO, you know what I'm saying? He said he was gonna, I got a warrant or whatever. So I don't know, man. I'm stupid.
Simone basically told me that he had warrants. He was scared. He didn't want to go to jail. You think, well, maybe they did flee because they have warrants. Maybe they have something else going on.
Well, can you at least run me down? I'm trying to figure out something that happened tonight, and I'm trying to take you out of the equation, but I need you to tell me, like I asked you a while ago, the last couple hours before cops got behind you and you took off, what all did you do?
The liquor locker right there on cover, but I ain't been nowhere else. I ain't even do nothing wrong, man. I thought I had a warrant.
After we talked to him, we got a signed search warrant for his vehicle. We couldn't find anything that would tie him to it, so we released him from that crime. It is a little frustrating because you're thinking, well, this guy was right there and doesn't have anything to do with this murder. Now you're back to square one.
You got to take a broad picture and just, you don't want to get hooked on one thing. And this is the way this happened. You know, that's the good thing of a good investigation is you look, you know, broadly and see who all could be involved in this and what all possibly happened here.
The suspect that's still out there didn't like this guy. I mean, who killed Delvin? Still don't know. Don't have anybody else to look at right now. So when you're going through these investigations, you want to know the victim's life. You want to build the victim his own profile. The more information you gather, you're starting to build some sort of a lead to try to help solve this case.
One thing we're going to do is look at his background. There's a couple different ways we can do it: Facebook and interviewing witnesses and talking to people.
So as we're investigating this murder, we start looking at Delvin's history. We don't have much to go off of. He has a report taken under his name for something criminal, which wasn't like something huge. There wasn't anything of interest that we would need or think that we would need to follow up with. A short time later, another detective in the office had answered a phone call, and it was a male subject that was named Justin Brewer, saying he'd like to talk to Detective Lowe.
Pretty much almost every homicide, we do always kind of get some type of tip or, hey, you might want to know this information. That's kind of typical of every case you have.
My name is Justin Brewer. She said I could talk to you.
Yes.
Hi, how are you doing today, sir?
Not doing too bad. Just in here trying to figure out an investigation I've got going on, trying to figure out what happened.
Yes, sir. That's the reason why I called. I wanted to present myself properly and help as much as possible. But I did want to talk to you, sir.
Okay.
First, I wanted to tell you that Delvin, that's who you're talking about, right? Because that's the only one that first of all, he wasn't a bad guy. He wasn't an angel. Don't get it wrong, but he wasn't a bad guy, also.
He said that Delvin was a good guy. He's a great guy. He's known Delvin and Delvin's family pretty much his entire life.
I don't want to tell you what I think because I've heard so many different stories. I've heard so many different allegations coming from so many different situations. Okay, for example, he was having sex with a guy's wife that lived across the street from me and my wife.
He also mentioned a subject named Sean, and he has either a wife or a girlfriend that was named Chastity. And supposedly Delvin was messing around with this Chastity lady, and maybe we should turn our direction towards that. Maybe Sean's mad at Delvin and decided that he's had enough and he's going to take care of it.
Okay, all right. Well, you have my number, Justin.
When Mr. Bird talked about Sean being involved, so that's something you have to take in consideration. Sometimes you have retaliation killings. We were very concerned of the situation. When the gentleman that's having an affair with your significant other does end up murdered, you're always suspicious when anything like that happens. Maybe that could be one potential motive for Mr. Mitchell's demise. We need to interview him to help us find out where is this going to lead us. Mr. Bird did contact the police department on a recorded phone call. He brought up the information that Mr. Mitchell was having a relationship with Chastity and that her husband, Sean, was not happy about that.
Sean's one that I raised also. Everybody thought Sean done it. And everybody was calling me talking about, Sean, we're gonna kill Sean.
Me knowing Sean, growing up with Sean, like I knew that he wouldn't do nothing like that. But no put nothing past nobody though. We don't know. We just know that he's a person in interest.
Obviously, they're going to look at Sean's criminal history, and he did have a little criminal history with disorderly conduct and lying to law enforcement.
Sean said, Mom, I didn't do it. So I believe Sean. So I went with Sean to the interrogation place.
I want to read you Miranda just because your name's being brought up as a suspect.
Yes, sir, I understand that.
I had talked to Sean about the murder and that he's a possible suspect, that his ex-wife, Chastity, had been seeing Delvin. Well, you guys were divorced though, right?
Yes, sir, yeah, so it was none of my business.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But then I get
But still.
Yes, sir.
Because you
It's a brother.
and Delvin were friends.
Well, as far as I knew, we was, and then I didn't get all the traumatic and sad information until after that. He didn't even really like you, and obviously, by the actions of what was going on, that I wasn't anything to him.
Right.
You know what I mean? But I didn't know all these hurtful things until after that.
That night he got killed. I had to tell Sean that Delvin was with Chastity. He didn't know. So he got mad and sad all at the same time.
He said he was a little upset about that, but it wasn't something that he would go and take revenge out on somebody for. Why do you think your name was brought up about this, though?
I think my name was brought up because everybody needs a fallback and a scapegoat. That's who I am. Not that I'm blaming on anyone, but I even immediately, when I heard it, was like, oh my goodness, what should I do? What do I need to do? Is there someone I need to speak with? Because look, you know what I mean? Like how it looks, you know what I'm saying? Like your buddy's messing with your wife, blah, 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 whatever.
Yeah, it looked real bad.
It looked real bad.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It did for a little,
Yeah,
so.
It really did.
Yes, sir. And we've all watched. You see enough, shows to know that.
Sean said he went to sleep that night that incident occurred, and he didn't know anything about it till the next morning when he woke up.
You have a past conviction of lying to the police. Why are we going to believe you? You're going to have to show us, why you're not involved in this.
Would you mind us looking at your phone?
I don't know.
Okay.
Whatever you need to do.
Can I take it? I'm gonna take it in there and look at it. Is that all right?
Yeah, that doesn't matter.
He said I have an app that tracks my sleeping pattern, and it'll show you on my phone that at that particular time and day that I was sleeping. So we looked at his phone, looked at that app. He was just being very honest and truthful, which in our minds kind of eliminated him from this murder. Investigating something like this is hard sometimes because it's a little overwhelming, but we keep working our case.
His birth mother did not want to show up. She did not. His sisters welcomed me in, because they know that I took care of him. Then everybody got together and wanted a picture taken of all the guys together. his life was taken. He didn't deserve that. There's a lot of people out here that deserve it, but he didn't.
A short time later, phone rings, and again, it's Justin Brewer, same guy from the earlier communication.
He was having sex with a guy's wife that lived across the street from me and my wife.
I did find that kind of odd that another call came in, so I answered the phone. He tries to tell me several different stories about what could possibly happen to Delvin, which in my mind thought was kind of far-fetched. I said, did you ever meet up with Delvin? He said he was supposed to meet Delvin on the night that he was murdered. And at that particular time, I don't know that information. He didn't want to give a whole lot of information before. So you're kind of wondering why now.
That night I called him, and he was supposed to meet up with me. My wife is a cab driver. I called my wife to bring me, and he never showed up. And I didn't charge him, to my heart about that because it was something so small and petty. Honestly, I just felt like, well, maybe he thought it wasn't worth his time.
So I asked him where they're going to meet at. It's a little apartment complex, a block and a half away from where Delvin got shot and killed, where he could get a bag of weed for his wife. His wife's name was Amber Brewer. She worked for a cab company, driving a cab, and he said, no, I met in that area and I waited all night long. He never showed. There was other detectives in the room with me. We kind of all just looked at each other in awe. We just could admit and being there that night, close to the area where Delvin was murdered. In my opinion, you're being nosy because you know something happened and you're wanting to know what we know. And I'm not giving that to you.
You heard the stuff on Facebook, like the police chase and the shooting and all that? You tried to call him or text him, or what'd you do?
No, sir. After I left, I tried to call him again, and he didn't answer.
After we completed our conversation, like I said, did this guy really just call in here and give this story of his events that in his mind took place? It didn't make any sense. None of his stories made any sense.
I believe then Justin called back one or two more times, just trying to kind of feel the detective out, hey, what do you have on me? And then trying to throw shade on maybe just to send an investigation to another area other than himself.
He kind of admitted that he was supposed to meet Delvin very close to where the incident occurred, the night that he was murdered. So we had enough probable cause to get a warrant for his phone number, to get call detail records, text messages, and found out that on the night of the incident, Justin had called a female, her name's Scarlett.
There were several phone calls and texts back and forth. So we all were thinking, is she the side chick that got involved? When you commit a crime such as murder, the wheels are turning. I'm sure he's looking out the window. Did anybody see us? He called on somebody that he's had faith in, and maybe that was Scarlett. We got to talk to that person, find out how she was involved. We did some further follow-ups and found additional cell phone data. Cell phone data does not lie. The phone data showed that Scarlett was in recent contact with Justin. And the night of the murder, there were several phone calls and texts back and forth. That was suspicious. We found out that Scarlett was living with her mother. So we went to the mother. We found out that Scarlett was living with her mother, but she wasn't home. So we interviewed the mother at her house.
Okay, Terry, go ahead and have a seat. Terry, you remember me. I'm Detective Wheeler.
Yes.
And this is Detective Hands.
She's a very nice lady, and I believe she had some concerns about her daughter's safety since she was involved with Justin Brewer.
She said, Mama, Justin was going to know if he can come to the house and stay for about 3 or 4 days. And I said, well, for what? He's got a home. Because when he came that night, I was so freaked out. I knew something wasn't right. And I stayed in there to myself. I didn't want to be around him, nothing.
She said Justin ended up getting dropped off at Scarlett's mother's house the night of the murder, and Justin had come in kind of in a frantic type mood, very wired, very amped up.
Really, truly, and honestly, didn't even want him there. But Scarlett.
Yeah. It's your daughter, I understand.
I know.
It is unsettling, but what I want to make sure is you're not doing something to your kid now.
No.
If you know something is important.
But the only time that he talked to me, he come downstairs, Scarlett was gone, and he just kept walking back and forth, you know, doing this. I really want to tell you what's going on, Mom. I think you should know, but I really don't want to tell you. You know, more or less, he was admitting to me, but he didn't come out and say it.
According to Scarlett's mother, he said something bad had happened that night.
We were starting to get more and more information. She did admit that Justin was at the house, that she's a potential not eyewitness to the murder, but maybe a circumstantial witness to a murder. Do you ever get 100% of the information? The only person that really knows that is the person you're interviewing.
Did he expand on that, what he wanted you to know?
No, not at all. He did not come out and say he murdered that boy. No, he did not. And I put my name on the Bible to that. He did not say that. Okay. But in so many words, I knew that something wasn't right and he done something.
I mean, you could tell she was scared of him.
She would sit there and talk to us and smoke, which I'm not a smoking fan, but it was worth it.
What did Scarlett tell you that he told her?
Scarlett told me that he killed her.
And when was this?
This was...
Before he left?
Yeah, before he left.
Justin didn't tell you personally that he did?
No, he did not. I never heard that come out of his mouth. In a roundabout way, though, he said it, you know, in a roundabout way.
Afterwards, we did some interviews with Scarlett. She was not willing to give up any information. We tried to speak with Justin, but he refused to talk to law enforcement when confronted.
Justin didn't want to speak with us, so we put our attention more towards Amber, Justin's wife.
In the interview phone calls before with Justin Brewer, he did inform detectives that he had been picked up that night in Amber's cab to meet Mr. Mitchell, and Mr. Mitchell had never shown up. We then go to UCABI. They did confirm that yes, Amber was working that night, and her cab, it had GPS tracker in it, which is always good for us. I mean, it shows exactly where the cab was going. It could be that break moment where like, oh, this is it.
There is almost always information on those devices that will help us along in our case. So you're hoping that happens.
I went into the office and they had come back from the taxi cab place with the GPS information that showed Amber's cab going down to the southeast side and stopping a block or so from the murder. So it was kind of nice to look at the data and go, okay, so it puts him at the scene of the crime at the time of the murder. And then immediately after, it shows her stopping on top of Diamond Avenue over Pigeon Creek. That was the first thing we all thought, holy, she just threw that gun out in the creek.
The dive team showed up at the bridge and they did their process as far as searching for the gun. Are we going to find something there? My thoughts are there's no way.
There's a young man from the local news. And my first question to that reporter is, hey, when is this going to be on TV? And he said it'll be on at 11 o'clock news.
Evansville's not a huge community, but you look up and there's news media trucks lined across this bridge. They were all over the story.
We then got the thumbs up that there was a discovery, and the diver did a great job. He found it in pitch dark water and he pulled that thing up, and I'll never forget it. And the next thing you know, you're looking at a slide from a Smith & Wesson. So this is more icing on the cake.
We had enough probable cause to get arrest warrants for Justin and Amber.
But we could not locate them here in the city of Evansville. It might have taken us a week or two, and we got I was on a date night with my wife and got a confirmation from the FBI that Amber and Justin were in custody in Chumley, Georgia, just outside Atlanta. She was stopped while texting and driving. So at that point, things were going good with them in custody. You'd love to sit down face to face with them, look them eye to eye, and get a full confession. Justin Brewer refused to speak to investigators. But Amber decided to speak with law enforcement.
Come on now. Yeah. Let's break the movie going on. I was thinking.
Myself and Detective Lowe walked in there thinking, okay, what are we going to hear?
The best way I think to kind of start this back is just going to go back a little bit on the date before everything happened.
Are we going to hear some story that just not jive with any of the evidence we have?
I'm going to take you back to around January 25th of 2019.
Or is she going to tell us the truth? Amber Brewer did decide to speak with law enforcement.
I fully intend not to tell a lie at all. So if it's safe to say on 1/25 of 2019, in January, 25th of 19, you were working at UCABI.
Mm-hmm.
Sometime or another, did you have a conversation with Justin, and did you go pick him up at the hotel you were staying in?
Yes.
Okay.
I went and picked him up so I could get a bag of weed.
Okay.
Amber basically told us that the night of the murder, Justin was wanting to get a little bag of weed.
Who set up the deal to get the bag of weed?
He did.
Okay. And when we're talking about, and who did he set it up with?
That young man right there, his name was on that paper,
Okay.
Devin.
Devin Mitchell.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
She said she picked Justin up. They drove to the southeast side of Evansville to meet Delvin that night.
We just enter into the parking lot.
Okay, and what happens there?
We get in the car that he was driving.
Devin's car?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and what happens in there?
He takes off out the parking lot, and I'm not going to tell you which direction we went in, because at the point we get in the car, I'll leave it up to them to figure out whatever they're doing, because I'm with my husband.
I understand.
She gets in the back passenger seat of Delvin's car, and Justin gets in the front seat. They drive around a little while.
So I'm in the back seat, minding my own business. As he pulls over, my husband pulls out a gun, and I'm not used to those type of things.
I understand
I'm
that.
trying to yell. So I got out the car and took off running.
Okay.
And that's when I heard the gun go off.
You can remember how many times you heard it go off?
No.
Justin's got a gun pointed at Delvin, and she says she jumps out of the car and takes off running. And she gets a short distance and hears some gunshots.
People give false confessions. We did not find anything deceitful in her interview with us. Everything was consistent with our investigation.
Okay, at some point do you stop your cab at the Pigeon Creek Bridge there?
Yes.
Okay, and do you get out?
Yes.
And what do you do there?
Well, my vehicle was smoking. I did make a maintenance report about it, and I don't know if it was smoking. So, but I threw the slide that he told me I had to get rid of.
So after she tells us this story, you're pretty confident you've had the right guy. You've been hearing his name. He's made calls to you. It all matches up.
Mr. Mitchell was a very young man, and to be killed over a bag of marijuana, it is tragic. He's not going to get his life back, and the family doesn't have him back. I don't know if it's a lack of respect for a human person, or it's just the disdain for not getting something you think you deserve. I don't know what causes this.
Amber testifies against her husband. She was charged with obstruction. She was released on time served. Justin was ultimately charged with murder. They found him guilty. He was sentenced, and the judge recommended 85 years in prison.
Scarlett was ultimately convicted of obstruction of justice for lying to law enforcement, and she was sentenced to 2 years and 182 days. We've done phone calls before where people have actually called in and talked to law enforcement knowing they're the suspect. They want to know what the word on the street is, but curiosity kills the cat sometimes, and that's what happened in this case.
In my mind and my heart, I hope the family knows that we did everything we could and that we did get justice for Delvin.
Delvin, he was a star. I mean, he was just great. He didn't really get a chance to even live life. I'm still having trouble with it. I sit at home all the time. I really don't deal with anybody. I don't deal with anybody.
I hope Justin really thinks about what he done and how bad he impacted a lot of people. Delvin was the joy of a lot of our lives. And now we don't have that joy no more. You stole that joy from us. He took my bestest friend, so I'm hurt still to this day. He was the life of the party. There ain't no more parties no more.
He thought he could outright the truth, but the evidence spoke louder: the GPS, the weapon, the lies. In the end, there was nowhere left to run. Verdict: guilty, and the echo of that night never fades.